Senator Batters.
Senator Harder, on December 19th, the Prime Minister, the Privy Council Clerk, and senior PMO staff had lunch shortly before the clerk's 17-minute call with Jody Wilson-Raybould. Mr. Wernick said 4 times in that call that the PM was firm and in a mood about a deferred prosecution agreement with SNC-Lavalin. The clerk stated that this issue was important to the Prime Minister. At the end of that call, he said he was going to have to brief Prime Minister Trudeau on the call before he goes. Now, the Prime Minister and the clerk are claiming the clerk failed to brief the Prime Minister about this disastrous call with the Attorney General on an issue Mr. Wernick stated was so important to the Prime Minister. This defies belief. There are only 2 possibilities here. Was the clerk totally incompetent, or is this Prime Minister Trudeau's desperate attempt to hide the truth from Canadians?
Senator Harder.
I thank the honourable senator for a question. There's actually a 3rd possibility, and that they are telling the truth.
Senator Batters.
I don't think so, Senator Harder. Senator Harder, Michael Wernick was a 38-year career civil servant who worked his way up to the highest job in the Canadian public service. When I asked you about him previously, you lauded his accomplishments and called him a friend. In what world would it not set off alarm bells for Mr. Wernick when the Attorney General of Canada says she feels this conversation reminds her of the Saturday Night Massacre? It's ludicrous. Senator Harder, if Mr. Wernick was actually that incompetent, why wasn't he immediately fired after the PM learned about this call during Jody Wilson-Raybould's testimony in February? Or is Prime Minister Trudeau trying to cover his tracks that he knew about it all along? And if so, how much severance will the Privy Council Clerk receive from Canadian taxpayers so Prime Minister Trudeau can buy his silence?
Senator Harder.
I thank the honourable senator for a question. Let me simply say, in my number of years that I've known the former, well, the still clerk, soon to be retired clerk, I've known him to be a person of high integrity. He has certainly demonstrated that in service to a number of governments, and the question to impugn his integrity I find distasteful, and I take him at his truth, and I stand by that.
Senator McFedrin.